welcome back in. Corruption in the Democrat Party is at an all-time high as we see Democrat leaders in blue states and cities get rich as their constituents in those areas can barely afford the price of living. Our next guest is exposing the frauds lining their pockets with campaign funds and tax dollars, such as New York Governor Kathy Hochul. Turns out the governor has been living lavishly on taxpayer dime. Hochul, who signed legislation forcing fossil fuel companies to pay $75 billion for carbon emissions, has now spent $178,000 in taxpayer funds to go travel around on a private jet. But it turns out New York politicians, they're not just spending the taxpayer dollars, they're also getting rich using taxpayer dollars. The Office of New York Attorney General Letitia James has paid $483,000 in contracts to a law firm called Davis Polk. Starting in April of last year. Coincidentally, though, those payments began just 4 months after William Hochul was hired by the company. William Hochul, obviously you know what the last name is the husband of Kathy Hochul. So fast forward to April of this year, Letitia James is under investigation from the DOJ for falsifying documents, saying she owed less property than she actually does as a way to secure lower interest rates. At the same time, James allegedly has been saying that she legally lives at a property in Virginia as a way to secure a better mortgage. Once this investigation was launched, corrupt Kathy Hochul knew it was time to return the favor for that $483,000 sent to her husband's employer. So last month, she passed a new budget, and it includes $10 million in legal funds for defense funds for Letitia James, paid for by New York taxpayers. Hochul claims New York Democrats are being targeted by Pam Bondi in the Department of Justice here.
She came after me. They're coming after the Attorney General. They're coming after a candidate for mayor. So the question is, when will Pam Bondi stop politicizing the Department of Justice and just do their jobs?
I think the better question for Kathy Hochul is when will New York Democrats stop stealing from the American taxpayer? And also, we've already seen what Democrats used the DOJ for, and that, of course, was prosecuting President Trump while on his way to a second term. Joining me now for more on this, the man who's uncovered it all, forensic accountant Sam Antar. Sam, good to see you.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. All right, talk about this. We saw the post you made, piqued our interest here. This funneling of the money here. Go ahead.
The triangle,
yes.
The triangulation.
Yes.
Well, let's start in February 2023.
Okay.
Actually, it's 2022.
Okay, back it up one more. Yeah.
Anyway, there's a contract that's made between the Attorney General's office and Davis Polk.
Okay.
It's approximately $325,000.
Great.
And in the meantime, Davis Polk is getting all kinds of money, $7 million from various government agencies, but this contract is dormant.
Right. That's what I saw. Nothing was going on with it.
Right. Then Hochul's husband, William Hochul, joins the firm
Davis
on
Polk.
January 2nd, 2024.
Okay.
Right? The contract expires the end of the month of January, about 29 days later, 30 days later. The contract is then recorded, okay, on March 17th, which is approximately 400 plus days after the contract was entered into. In other words, it was recorded and approved. It's kind of like it didn't exist until it existed.
Until it comes in.
Right. Now the contract gets extended because Hochul is there, William Hochul is there.
Bill Hochul comes in.
Right. And all of a sudden, money starts flowing from the Attorney General's account 454 days after the contract was initiated. The money starts flowing in $483,000, give or take.
Okay.
Now,
okay. Yep.
Okay. Then we got to fast forward. Okay. The money's there. It's flowing to William Hochul's law firm, Davis Polk. Then Tish James starts getting into trouble. You know, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, the
things you helped expose.
Things I helped expose.
Yes. Okay. It's getting a lot of traffic.
Right. So around May, there was an announcement that the FBI was investigating. This is after it was already referred to the DOJ, and there was also an announcement of a grand jury proceeding. On that same day, Tish James gets a $10 million allowance from the state of New York for a criminal defense. Now, listen, I was a criminal. I'm not a... Let's put it this way. the pieces, when you put them together, there's something very dirty there. There's something very, very corrupt there.
So you're saying it looks fishy?
It is fishy. It doesn't
No,
look
I'm
fishy.
kidding.
It is
Yes.
fishy.
Yes, it is fishy. So they get the $483,000. The money is coming into the law firm that Bill Hochul is at. Okay, from Tish James's office. Tish James gets in trouble with the work you exposed.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, here comes this giant thing in the budget, $10 million for Tish James to defend herself.
One back scratches the other. The problem in New York is that we have a corrupt one-party state.
Okay.
I'm a Democrat, and I don't like what's happening.
So what
our
has to
party.
happen here? We got about 20 seconds left. What will be the next evolution in looking into this?
Well, the
specific
thing
case?
is, we peel at the layers when we do forensic accounting work. We keep on looking at the same things over and over again, things we might have missed, but also we expand out the scope. Right now, I'm looking into Hochul's dealings with Tish James.
Okay, keep at it.
Thank you.
Kind of just, you know, politicians being dirty politicians. That's what it smells like. All right.
Yeah, but they make life exciting.
I guess they do. They give us something to talk about. I have a job because of it. All right.